These kind of relationships that get disturbed when we don't take the time to know what it is to sing, to know how to get close to the mic again. But it's singing doesn't make it happen, or maybe.
You don't have to, but if you're comfortable with the consequences of not, then I would say don't, right? That is, if you're comfortable with, the consequences of radically seeing the way of life changed structurally through the Constitution being reformed and no longer having a democracy, right? Not having a chance to vote again. If you're comfortable with that in this particular race, because this is abnormal. This is different than any other time before.
Really?
Was it different before 4 years ago?
No, not quite. This is much.
Vote or die.
This is different.
It's different than vote or die. It's different than. There was another one.
This is different though.
It was like Gordon. There was Kerry. I mean, we get this fear mongering every election though. That's the thing.
And it's all. And I always hear them. I always hear people say, "No, no." Again,
I think this is different, man.
Really?
Yeah, because 4 years ago, I mean, you had a different party in control of the House of Representatives, right? So that's a different say-so legislatively. I mean, even though it's going to get knocked down by your senators, right? Because I mean, it's only a 50-50 split. And I'm not looking at party here. I'm looking at right versus wrong. I'm looking at really. The greater amount of people in the society who don't make 400K, right? That actually benefit from what would be known as democratic shaped policy.
so you talking about Project 2025?
I'm not talking about Project 2025. That's a whole different ballgame.
But isn't that 400K wrapped up in that?
No, that's always been wrapped up into conservative policy,
Yeah.
right? They've been pretty much the lapdogs of big corporate interests and the one percenters since the late 1870s, after the end of Reconstruction.
Okay.
Right? That's been their primary intent, is to kill regulation on companies. So they were against organization of unions. You're familiar with unions, being from Pittsburgh, and you're familiar with the Carnegies of the world, right? So they really fought hard to protect those interests. Now, when you look at the Democratic side of it, so they've always had a troubled past too. It started by a racist, Andrew Jackson, who killed a lot of Indian people and routed them out of the South and into Oklahoma, right? And then that advances itself to it being a party about poor people, the working class people, the farmers, right? Which is what that includes us. But we didn't have a part in that party for so long because of the Dixiecrats. And other players too, but primarily the Dixiecrats in the Deep South that held on to segregation, right? And then when you get to the end of Reconstruction, the Dixiecrats had a say-so on that. They were able to move all of those Union troops out of the South with the Compromise of 1877. And that is a big issue that doesn't get talked about. But honestly, the Dixiecrats were holding us back for a long time within the Democratic Party, even though you had FDR and the New Deal, Truman, JFK, right? It really gets to LBJ, who pressured by the Civil Rights Movement to sign the Civil Rights Act, 1964, and the Voting Rights Act, 1965, to where the Democratic Party is now a civil rights-based party, still fundamentally about the working class. However, those same racist Dixiecrats who really benefited more from Democratic policy because they ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw out of. They're poor whites, but they're racist. So there's no way in hell they're gonna stay in a party positioned itself on losing segregation. So they all flipped, find a new tent. And the Republican Party, which is really about country club wasps for years, they would talk all this shit about these poor rednecks, said, come on in.
Yeah.
And that's the Southern strategy. How do we appeal to these displaced voters? Because we can win the whole South if we just start saying dog whistles to them about we hate niggas, we hate gays, rah, 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 and guns, and we believe that Jesus should be the cornerstone of every education, not any other religion.
And crime.
They bought into that. Right. And so none of these, the Democratic Party ain't particularly great either. But when you're looking at policy, you also have to be a player in this, right? As a block of voters, right? And you got to understand your own best self-interests. And if you don't, you just get caught up in the actors.
So how do we, so clearly you're informed.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with civics, you know?
Right. Yeah. So I am of the, but, and again, convincing someone that they were lied to is a lot harder than convincing someone of a lie.
True.
And there is a lot of information that is out there. There are a lot of concepts and beliefs that people hold and feel very strongly about, and they project and share with other people. So I feel like we're at a time now where it doesn't matter, like all of the information that you gave.
Yeah.
We're talking about people voting on policy. I don't see people making rational decisions on a day-to-day basis. So when I see people making decisions based on policy, when I hear people say, "Oh, you got to base people voting against their best interest," what is their best? You smoke,
Right.
cigarettes.
Right.
You cheat on your wife.
Right.
You got a spending habit, a gambling habit. You doing a lot of things on a regular basis that is against your best interest, regardless of the data points, regardless of the facts, regardless of what's true and what's not. And we sit back and we look at people and we, as if most of the decisions that we make on a daily basis is based on logic and fact. And every time I see us try to coerce someone or offer a data point about something to get them to do something different, like y'all seen the videos when motherfuckers go to Trump rallies?
Yeah.
And when you motherfuckers go to Democrat, some of the shit that they say and the cognitive dissonance is crazy, bro.
Well, you're up against misinformation today, right? And it's also a 24-hour news cycle. You got YouTube with people that are going to offer all these unchecked opinions. And you're also against troll farms, bots from the Kremlin, all right? Spirited in comment sections to throw you off of your game, all right? And this is done in 2016 that was done. Tried it again in 2020. They're doing it again, you know? When I worked in
They're going to keep doing it.
They're going to keep doing it because we're an easily manipulated group of people because we've handcuffed ourselves to populism in every other shape and form, entertainment-wise. Easily influenced. Yeah. And they're easily for the taking. And this is why in Project 2025, they're talking about day one, they're going to go ahead and dismantle the Department of Education, right? They want to dismantle public school systems and exchange that for the charter system, right? So you got to be able to pay to play to get in there, you know? A lot of our people just don't have it like that. A lot of Latino, brown people, they're the main people in public school systems today. They want you to be the permanent underclass is what that basically means when you read through 900 pages of that stuff, right? So I think politics is all context. And I always tell my friends, don't get caught up in the actors so much because we made that mistake with Barack Obama. Now, I'm a fan of Barack's. I'm a fan of his policies. I think he could have been a little bit more radical than that. And I'm kind of a left of center guy, right? However, I felt like a lot of black people got caught up in identity politics, and it's proof of this, right? In 2008, when he ran, you saw an unbelievable turnout of our folks. Right. It was over 90%, like 93% of black people.
Registered voters?
They registered for the first time. I'm just saying the exit polls showed that 93% showed up to participate in helping him get across the line in states where our people are, right? And people got drunk off of the image more so than the policy. And that's a hard sell. When you're looking at the first black president, he has this beautiful brown-skinned wife, 2 black children. Idealistically, you know, it's just novel to us, and we just fell into this slump off of imagery. So when you look at the midterm election, 2 years later, 90% becomes 20% and less in a lot of these same states where our people are. We have the House of Representatives on the line.
2010?
2010, 2 years after 2008. Wow. Drop off was radical. You're talking like an 80% decrease in your turnout rate. Why is that? Because midterm elections just aren't really that popular with us. Local elections aren't popular. And that's the shit that really impacts you, is your local elections. And we need to know that, right? So what happens is the House of Representatives quickly changes. John Boehner becomes your Speaker of the House. And they had a mission at that point to just obstruct. These people aren't going to know shit about policy. They're just going to be drunk off of him being president, and we ain't going to give them no bills. We're not going to give the Senate shit. Democrats still had the Senate in 2010.
But hold on, Keon. Even when you say, and this is where so let's say they knew policy. That doesn't mean that their decision is going to be based on it. We can even go back to Bush, Kerry.
Gore. Oh, yeah. Bush, Kerry, yeah.
After we found out we were lied to about the Iraq War.
Yep.
After all of those people we murked.
200,000.
George Bush won.
Yeah, but what was the turnout of black people that had a say so in that election?
So because I want to go back to the policy thing.
Yeah.
I'm referencing the policy because I don't know. So and you might be sticking on black. I'm gonna speak for my father.
Okay.
Because you said identity politics, and I think identity transcends race, and I'm using this as an example. My father is a Christian. And what a reason why my father voted for George Bush during that election, despite all of the stuff he knew about the policy, despite everything he knew about everything. You know why he voted for Bush?
I got a feeling.
Why you think?
Pro-life.
No, gays.
Oh. Ah, okay.
He was like, ain't no gay people gonna get married on my watch. I will vote against that. Regardless of what the policy is.
But see, one issue voting will crush all of your hopes and dreams.
So there's an identity that my father was associated with that was his religion.
Yep.
Right? And that is an emotional situation.
It is.
As with a bunch of the others. Because we are at a point now, and I don't know how we make this shift as people. We're not as logical as we think we are. Nope. We are driven emotionally, especially men. Men, I want to talk about how they logical, this and that and the third. Nigga.
Real talk.
So, please, in an age where...
Dangerously emotional, too.
At an age where we are driven by our emotion, how do we motivate people outside of just using knowledge? Because that's not translating to people voting in the ways that we feel people should be voting. Because I'm at the point now to where I feel like this joint is done, bro. Yeah. America's done. Everything we think we're trying to do to save this bitch.
I'm on the opposite of that.
In comes AI.
I think we're close. So you have every right to feel that way because I do think we're close, right? To the brink of the extension of this experiment, right? But what they didn't count on is us having a say so and us being the torchbearers of preserving democracy.
Who's us?
Our people, black people, minorities, women. So they counted us out.
Oh, bro, you don't believe that.
2 million?
You don't believe that, Keon.
I do. I think this is going to be a blowout.
No, so
What's a blowout?
This election is going to be a blowout. I see Kamala Harris getting over 300 electoral votes.
How many men have you heard talk about voting for Trump?
Not many.
I've heard of a lot.
A lot of brothers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For every one of those brothers, I guarantee you there's 80 that are on the opposite end of that. Okay. I was on a call on this past Monday.
The Zoom joint?
I was on the Zoom joint, right?
There's been many of them.
Yeah.
So I was on the Zoom joint. Wes Moore led that, and Reverend Al Sharpton was on there. And I'm going to tell you what, for every one of those passport bros and those red pill content creator eating motherfuckers, there's thousands. There's thousands compared to that one. It's just that one guy is just so fucking loud because you're not used to hearing that. Because we all fall in line
That's true.
all the time, right?
That's true.
So, the old saying is, right, like Republicans fall in line, Democrats fall in love, right? And so when you hear a brother that ain't falling in line, it's just like, I hear this guy, he's loud as shit. No, it's just you're not accustomed to seeing brothers like fall in love with a guy that's in the same tank with neo-Nazis.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. And please, bro, jump in because you've been awfully fucking quiet.
And after you do, I want to ask about a landslide, he said.
I do think it's going to be a landslide.
Because
I had Joe winning it by a hair.
Really?
Yeah, I did. But now there's new states on the map.
How, Sway?
Well, easily, right? He had 38% of white men that were our age to our parents' age, right? 38. That's the main challenge for Kamala. Can she make up that ground? Now, Trump also in 2020 had about 51% of white women, 51, voting in his favor, even with all the sexism and all the other bullshit he's linked to. This is a felon now. This is a person that got adjudicated on rape charges, right? So, and I also watched the white girl call. White ladies had a call, right? You heard about that, right?
Mm-hmm. Kamala?
I watched it. Yeah, for Kamala. And the way how they organized that and also to fall back in line to get behind the sisters lead was incredible. And the call of responsibility wasn't just them voting for Kamala. It was about what are you doing to talk to your friend that you know who's getting strong-armed by their sexist husband or racist husband? What are you doing to strong-arm your cousins, your family members? Because we're not trying to do this, gigantic shift to where that 51 gets reduced down to 31 or something like that. No. She's saying like we just need to get that shit from 51 to like 47.
There's two issues I want you to consider with America.
Yeah.
And it dates back to how they treated Sarah Palin, who wasn't ready, but they just tapped her, and then GOP killed her, and we killed her, right? Everybody just destroyed her and her family. And back then, when that happened, then Hillary came, and then she happened, right?
Yep.
Bernie didn't help her, and she was thrown out to dry. Those two situations, two white women, Sarah Palin and Hillary Clinton, I said, America got a problem with women.
They do, but this is different.
That's one. So Kamala's a woman.
Yep.
And I think America has a problem with it. The other is America has a problem with the aging. And Joe Biden, man, he's getting laughed at by his own party, man.
He was.
Like he's getting killed by his own party.
I agree, but you know what makes this different, though?
Dude is aging. Like he can literally, like,
He looks like the Crypt Keeper. Okay.
Right.
I agree.
But the jokes around it, right?
Yep.
I'm guilty of laughing. I'm guilty of going, man, this dude is.
Like he can't even turn around.
Who laughs at their grandmother?
But
who laughs at their grandfather?
But you know what's different? You know what's different? Okay, so you are 100% correct in that.
Because go over the water,
Yeah.
or go to some other cultures.
Yep.
They adore a Biden.
They do.
Mugabe, and you know what I mean? All
Yeah.
them. But this guy, they're like, get this guy out of here.
But this is also an audience that gives high ratings to a show like The Voice and American Idol, right? And the Kardashians, bullshit, right? All just identity, right? All image. And so because he doesn't look like he's at an optimal performance level because he's aging, you're not even looking at what he stands for. You're just looking at an actor, and that's why the debate crushed him, right? Yeah, so yeah, that plays a part. Now this is what makes it different, y'all.
Like it makes you get back to the woman problem. There's a woman.
Let's go back to that, right? So this is why I think she has a shot. She wouldn't have had a shot if something happened to Joe in 2021, right? This is a weird structure, right? Because you already had a taste of how horrific Trump is as a president from a policy standpoint too, right? Because he had both chambers of Congress when he was president, and he put in three far right-wing Supreme Court justices that have effed up a lot of shit here, stripping affirmative action all the way down to Roe v. Wade, right? So you know what you're getting, and he's telling you what he's going to do. You got a whole blueprint of it. The other day, he just said, hey, you ain't got to worry about voting again and you get me in here. Yeah. Right? So there's a fear component now that's moving people that have common sense, right? Now, if you're going to vote for Trump anyway, you probably voted for him the last time. He had like 15% of brothers vote for him the last time, right? Is he made serious ground in getting new black dudes? I strongly fucking doubt it. So here's the thing. Okay, because you had a taste of that, it pushes you into a position to play Detroit Pistons 89 defense, right? Mm-hmm. You're defensive minded just like you were in 2020. You weren't enthusiastic in 2020 to go out and vote. You just didn't want this nigga to get a second term. Right. So you're playing D. And that was the largest turnout in any election. He beat him by like 8 million popular votes. So in this election, you're still tuned in to play fucking Chicago Bear defense.
85.
But guess what? Guess what? With the switch of the top of the ticket now, dude, this woman weighs $200 million in like 36 hours, okay, of new money. She's got new volunteers, 70,000 of them across the country. This level of enthusiasm has not been seen since 2008, okay? And I'm not trying to be presumptuous or anything like that, but now the Democratic side has a certain swagger about itself, like, okay, look, we're gonna lock you up, but we're also gonna fucking throw 30 extra points on your ass.
It was a brilliant chess move I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
You know, like to put her there and see this community swell. But that 250 we keep throwing out.
What's the 250?
Million.
The million she raised.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I think we need to put an asterisk beside that number. You know why?
You think that was some of the stuff that Joe already had?
I was thinking that, but I don't even want to go there.
Okay.
You know what I was thinking? Tyler, Oprah, half of that done. That ain't me giving $50.
No, actually.
You know what I'm saying?
Actually,
like that's Tyler, Denzel, and Oprah. And Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Honestly.
You can get to 250 pretty quickly with that.
Straight up, a majority of that money came from first-time donations. Small donators. People donate anywhere from $5 to $100.
Okay, sisters.
They said that about Barack too.
Yeah, he did. He
come to find out, it was a lot of
super PACs.
No, it was small donations.
You were saying Barack was some bigger donors.
So Barack, they were saying that about Barack and having a lot of small first-time donors, but he was getting a lot of money from a lot of the big money too.
Oh, he's getting the donor class too.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's always been there.
Yeah.
But I mean, shoot, who do you think is giving? Who you don't think Elon Musk is knocking 50 million over to Trump?
Yeah, he is.
Every month?
He is, yeah.
So, you know, you have the donor class. You have Hollywood when you're the Democrats, right? They got a bigger checkbook. Yeah. And they're excited. You got the interest groups. You got AIPAC. You got all these other political action groups. You got the unions. You got veteran groups that are pro-Kamala, right? So, yeah, it's all coming together. And then we're not even talking about the money they already had raised with Joe Biden.
Yeah, he already had 250.
So now you're a player in Georgia again, y'all. You're a player in Georgia again. Because why? Our people are there.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask. Kamala ran, what, 8 years ago? Something like that?
Yep.
0 delegates.
2019. You been talking when she went for the Senate or for president?
For president.
Yeah, 2019, 2020.
She didn't make it.
She was terrible.
She didn't get, she had 0.
I don't think she made it past the first.
Yeah, she was in the primaries, but she didn't make it.
So I am attempting to have a different kind of conversation that transcends just this political cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's right now what everybody is telling us to focus on and talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when everybody's trying to get you to do something, it's like the sleight of hand when it's all some other shit going on over there. It's like, okay, so really, what else is at play and going on? When I'm looking at the state of things in the condition of the country and what we're being compelled to do and why we're being compelled to do it and what the ability is of the people to do those things and how through history has shown us how things continue no matter what. Let's say we make it through and Kamala does get in.
Now what?
Now what?
Okay. Now what? Right. So now what is? I challenge anyone that sees this video to look at the executive orders passed by the Biden administration, right? And executive orders can always be flipped by another administration, right? So not only did he repeal a number of Trumps, he added more and very progressive stuff, good stuff, right? So now what you're talking about is getting laws passed. You have a chance at this again. The House of Representatives is controlled by Republicans, but it's only controlled roughly around like 4 seats in winnable districts. So Democrats are projected now to be able to take the House, right? So that means you get to create laws again. You get to rewrite these bills that Republicans blocked in 2021, right? Black equity bills that connects to us. That's John Lewis Voting Rights Act, George Floyd Policing Act, right? So these are all authored by the Congressional Black Caucus, and they got signed on by a majority of folks in the House, went to the Senate, and it was pretty much dead on arrival, right? Because we don't really have real Senate control, right? We do, but we don't, right? It's like 50-50. You got Joe Manchin and you got Kristen Sinema at the time, who are in bed with special interest groups and lobbies, and they'll vote with conservatives, you know? So they held that up. Joe actually stuck his neck out twice to filibuster those, to still try to get it over the crosshairs of to his desk. And they both came out and blocked him. They got money under the table to say no, to vote against their own party, those 2 senators. So now you have a chance to take the Senate to a more accommodating position, maybe around 52. And I think it can be done here. Because Arizona, I think this is going to be her running mate. I think it's going to be Mark Kelly. I might be wrong, but I think Mark Kelly is going to be her running mate from Arizona.
Really?
Because that's a 3-for-1 deal. Okay, so if he becomes her vice president, then okay, he's going to vacate his seat there. The governor of Arizona is a Democratic woman. She gets Katie Hobbs. She'll get to backfill that.
That's true.
And then there's another open race because Kristen Sinema gave up her seat. That's going on right now. So when these people see Kelly, who they like, the astronaut, and they're like, damn, he's on the ticket, I love him. They're gonna vote blue down ballot, probably.
She'll win Arizona.
So you're gonna get 2 Senate seats and the VP. It helps you get a more favorable position for the new legislation, because you gotta put air back into those 2 black bills. And that's one thing Joe wanted done for John Lewis, right? And you had guys like Tim Scott and these others that blocked it, man. And a lot of times we get caught up in the main guy, the king, right? Quote unquote, the king could be a king if we don't get what we want here, right? And that's how black folks have always looked at the executive branch, as if it's the king. And no, that president needs help, man. He needs a Congress to help construct bills to pass. And if the Congress is not feeling the same way idealistically as the president does, then shit, you're not gonna get bills done. And the bills cannot be undone by the Supreme Court, right?
Do you think the process that we have in play is the best in the country, or best in the world, or the best?
No, I think that we gotta get rid of the Electoral College, number one. I believe in the popular vote. This is how it's done in every other country. I lived in Germany, you chose your chancellor. It was a popular vote. Every modern day first to second world nation doesn't have the stupid ass Electoral College. It's stupid to me.
Why do we still have it?
Well, it's outdated. I mean, we
Right.
had it with good reason, and it was
Right.
mainly to give smaller
but why do we
states.
still have it?
Because we think that smaller states need to have a say so, right? So a state like New Hampshire, right, only 4 electoral points, because that state is pivotally like purple, right? It could go pink or light blue. It puts them on the map as an area to contend for if it's a tight race. So this makes it opens it up to a politician that would never go to New Hampshire in a million years. It pushes them to go and campaign and fight for their votes. So it basically says to the public that, these small town people and small state people are just as important as the big cities. So when it's a popular vote election, all we got to do, if you and I, all 3 of us were on a campaign trail, we just got to go to New York City, lock that joint up. We got to go to LA, lock that up. We're going to go to Houston and Philly and Chicago. Boom. And maybe Miami. We lock all the big populated areas up, we'll win. Those small towns ain't going to matter. So I do understand that element of it, but still, that's just not a modern practice to have electoral colleges, you know? I think you need to just have the popular vote decide, and you go ahead and sell your plan.
Do you remember when we bailed out the banks?
Yeah.
Did you guys feel we should have did that, or should we have just let them crumble?
That was 2008, Obama.
I don't remember the. Yeah.
So 2009.
2009.
Do you think we should have bailed them out?
2008, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Bush.
Yeah.
that bailed them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you had to.
The reason he had to
Yeah.
is because the recession or depression, I mean, we were headed there.
Because the challenge is, here's what I feel. Obviously, you guys are a lot more dialed in, and I feel the passion. I appreciate it. But there's something else underneath all of it that I feel is at play that is being overlooked in a lot of instances, and I feel like we're kicking the can down the road. Mm-hmm. We're prolonging the inevitable. I think they should have let them shits fall, and whatever fucking happens, give the chance for that to grow, mature to whatever falls and crumbles and goes away. And that's where I feel like we are now. Like, I understand 100% the logic around voting blue down and this and that and the third. But with so much misinformation, with so much identity politics at stake, and how this country is divided in a way that it has never been divided, we are kicking the can down the road, because even if Bush wins, even if Kamala wins, we still got a half of the population. We are still as divided as we ever have been.
Yep.
And that will increase.
Now,
that's not going to get better no matter who is president, by the way. And so when you project out 10 years, when you project out 15 years, now we're trying to prevent, like if you have you lit a bomb and somebody come and they put the light out and somebody come back behind them and try to light them up again, and somebody come, that's what we're doing for this country, bro.
Well, see, I agree with you there, right? And I think what's scary is our nature, right? The average American's everyday nature, even if they're voting for Kamala, right? Average person's gonna vote for her thinking that that's the end, right? And they're not gonna have the duty to get back in line and return to their local elections and get back in line and vote in the midterms in 2 years. There's always a drop off, and anytime Democrats get a significant gain, there's procrastination that's going to follow. Yeah. All the time. Now,
content.
Absolutely. What? We got the result I wanted. I ain't got to do shit. Oh, look at the black president.
I'm with her.
I got the first female black. You're falling into these titles. Right. Hey, listen, those some D9 sisters. Power to them.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what needs to be critical from all the D9 groups, any other black groups, 100 black men, right? Teachers unions, whoever it may be, it's important for that next call of action after she's sworn in is just say, hey, that's not it.
Midterms.
That's not it. She doesn't have anything to work with here. Yeah. Give her more senators. Yeah. If there's a new Senate, if there's a Senate race that's coming up, if there's a House seat that's up for grabs, man, you got to tell people to get back in there, all right? You got to get your governor's races aligned too. All this stuff is what really hits you. It ain't the president. It's the government. It's your city council. And we need to make that sexy. All of our leaders, all of the people that are mentoring kids like me, I'm trying to make that the trend.
So how do you make it? So this is what I'm saying, bro. Let's say everybody voted.
Yeah. Within their best interests?
No, just period.
Just voted, okay.
Let's just say everybody voted.
Yeah.
Hold up. That's what they're saying. Vote.
Yeah.
Let's say everybody voted.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody's gonna vote. We're 50-50.
I don't think so.
51-49.
It's actually wider than that. It's really about 70-30, but a good 20% of that 70.
70-30 what?
70, okay, so you get 70% registered Democrats, about 35% registered Republicans in this country. Now, the problem with the Democratic side is this fucking couch. All right? Now, when they're inspired and they're enthusiastic and they want to show up, they win.
It's a landslide.
They fucking win.
So my question is this. I'm glad you said that because I'm a couch guy.
Yeah.
But I'll probably be voting.
Yeah.
Because I respect the historical
Right, the historical
significance
nature of it.
and the significance of this election.
Right.
My issue is because I'm a reluctant voter, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I can't stand Biden, Kamala, none of them. And it actually pisses me off. It pisses me the fuck off that people act like when they say I'm with her that they like her, or that she's really sincerely black or sincerely down with.
I think she is, though.
You think she is what?
I think she is down. I mean,
I don't see it, bro.
I mean,
don't
what,
see
because
it.
she's
But-
married
but
to a
she
white
doesn't-
guy?
I didn't even think about that.
Right.
I didn't even think about that. I when I see Angela Bassett or my mother, I don't see Kamala.
Okay.
I see Meghan Markle. Like
I don't see Meghan Markle, man. Here's why I don't see Meghan Markle.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Let me break it down. Okay, here's why I don't see Meghan Markle.
see somebody plastic.
I don't, man. I see a woman from Oakland, California, right? Came from a biracial background, right? Her mom's Indian, right?
She from Oakland County. When did she move?
What? She's from Oakland.
When did she move?
When did she move?
Yeah.
They went to Canada, then they came back. I don't know when, but it was during her childhood years, right? But she was born in Oakland, and her career kicked off there in the Bay Area, right? So,
And by the way,
See, you skipping a whole bunch because what makes us what our DNA, bro, is in our formidable years and what those life experiences were like, and where we. And I get the need to want to skip over, but I think that's
I was going to go back to it though,
because the part that okay, my bad.
okay, she went to Howard University.
don't forget about that.
Okay, she went to Howard University in the 80s. She pledged AKA, right? Now, if you're pledging AKA, it's not like they just give you a paper and you sign it. Like you're going through like a heavy degree of deep diving Black history to understand the importance of these groups. You're learning all about that legacy. It's very Black, very authentic, very consciously Black. So, and if you look at her track record in there as a prosecutor and as an AG, you're finding one of the most progressive prosecutors. And there's a lot of misinformation thrown out there by like the Tulsi Gabbards of the world. It's just not true about her. So I challenge anybody to really look at her record, how she fought for community policing, how she really fought to get cameras on these cops, to hold police accountable, and to not throw the book at the brothers on small possessions and things like that. 45 arrests, 45 prison sentences for marijuana for possession.
So your Blackness really relates to when you're so. Because again, you a logic guy, bro.
Yeah, I'm a context guy.
And what he's talking about isn't
It's an intuition.
it's not checkbox. It's not data points on a sheet of paper.
Sure.
And that's
You're talking
why
about intuition.
And no.
Who would she manifest herself as on a daily basis?
Like, what are some of the things? So, like, when I hear her say certain things about it, it signals to me that she's different than what she says she is.
She's more Drake than Kendrick.
Now, you can do all of these other things and have these data points and 45, like all of the stuff that you just said, right? But this goes back to what, like, it's.
Look, this is the thing, though. This thing, James, like, everyone has a right to feel that way, but I always tell folks, don't vote with your feelings. Don't.
That's
vote.
what everybody's doing.
Yeah, but that's why we're in this situation.
Bro,
because that's why we got to play defense.
So if we were all voting logically,
yes,
Stay on the couch.
Here's what I would say. If we were all voting logically,
Yep.
nobody would vote.
I was gonna say the couch. Yeah.
If we were all voting logically, nobody would vote.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're not necessarily voting for Kamala.
No.
you're voting for the policy.
No,
that
you're
you
voting
represent.
against Trump.
Yeah.
The
That too.
average person.
Yes.
Now,
Facts.
the
I agree
average
with you.
person.
I agree
Right.
with you.
So if we were going to really use logic and walk everything down and
Yes.
through and go all the way out, they'd be like, I'm tired of voting against people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that structure.
Yeah, I agree.
I
with
think
you.
that's
I
a
agree with
really,
you.
I think that's a really poor way to establish a government and govern
You know
and
what?
govern rules.
Politics should be boring, though, right? Politics is boring.
Right.
It's a boring subject. No one. I remember in class in government, like I was excited about it, and I tell you, man, most of the classmates of mine were doing this shit. Okay, and I understand, man. Politics is a boring fucking subject, and it's boring to think about participating in it. And if you look at a lot of these elections, like fuck Mondale versus fucking Reagan, what's the turnout, right? What's the fucking turnout? That shit's low. Like you're talking about like 50% of Americans turning out to shape your choice in leaders because you feel like everything's fine. You take a lot of these domestic and foreign securities like for granted, man. This is on the line here, right? You have a growth within white supremacy groups at an all-time high, right? You have militia groups forming right this minute. You have white supremacy groups, neo-Nazis organizing to take us out. Right?
I love it. I love it.
And they're in
and let me be clear. I love it.
Tell me
you
why.
Know, you know why I love
Well,
it?
they're in law enforcement too.
I'm ready for this motherfucker to be done, bro.
Yeah.
But where are you going to go?
God got me. And I mean that genuinely. This country has done a fucking number on people. The things that we do in other countries, bro.
Yeah.
The things that we do in the name of democracy and freedom while subjugating other people, playing these fucking games and doing all of this other shit in other countries.
People back
bro,
to the Stone Ages.
we have a cost to pay for that. And the way what we did to Native
don't.
No,
Black people don't.
I do, bro, because listen, I'm involved.
I'm talking about neo-Nazis here.
No, I'm talking about this country. If those people are doing what they need to do, again, we're trying to light the match. There are things that's going on, energies, bro, positive, negative, that is moving. That is moving, right?
Yeah.
And if those energies are compelling people,
Small group of people, but yeah.
enough to do whatever it is that they need to do,
Let them do it. Let them do it.
Let whatever. Can we accept that we new to this shit, America? We relatively new. We're a young country.
It's just every time we try to make real progress, we have folks that take us 15 years.
Because you know why?
Because we're a fundamentally racist country.
No, we're lighting the match.
Well, let me say this about the neo-Nazis and the militia groups, right? I want them to try, right? Here's why. This is a different administration. This ain't goddamn 2020 no more, right? So I have more confidence.
Black people will be the first people to be targeted.
No, they won't. Because they'll want to target you, Heath, but hear me out.
Just let me say this
Okay.
real quick. If that bullet goes through his head,
But
a white dude from my city shot the gun.
which I'm talking about organized domestic terrorism.
What was he?
Okay, so
Right? That was very organized.
but he didn't belong to a group, right?
Okay. You believe that?
I
My
believe
thing
it.
is this.
Yeah,
Whether he's a lone wolf or not,
yeah.
if it goes through his head, black people get harmed.
Well, I have more faith in this administration and their domestic security, right? So we're talking about DHS, so that's like your ATF groups. Yeah. We're talking about DOD, right? Lloyd Austin, you have a black Secretary of Defense. People forget that. And he controls the NSA, right? So believe me, brothers, there's constant surveillance being ran on these groups right now. And a lot of them are being disrupted right now, but they can't put that in the news because it's classified, all right? So yeah, go ahead and try. Right?
My
So
question-
domestic terrorism is the number one threat to our democracy, according to the FBI.
And the people
That's so interesting that they would say that, not China, or not Russia, or not. It's like because it is the motherfuckers fucking their sister in the hills of Pennsylvania, who's causing the most disruption and distraction and misinformation to the people in this country.
Yeah,
They're absolutely right.
But those hillbillies are also like learning how to make pipe bombs, right? And to just drive into the cities where you and I go and drop that thing off. So you need to have intelligence to counter that and to pick up on it.
I got a question.
Oh, man.
So, what do you say,
Yeah.
with all your knowledge about this, what do you say to the person that says, you know and you're passionate and you understand at a deep level because you believe, and I don't give a fuck because I don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
And believe in what? The American dream, protection, equal protection, all of the things that we're supposed to have, all these rights.
Yep.
Like the guy in the fatigues, I think it was down here in the DMV somewhere. He's in fatigues, he's black, and they mace him and slam him, and he's talking about his rights. And I'm in Dubai thinking, get out the car, nigga. You ain't got no rights.
Mm-hmm.
Military guy, nigga.
Uh-huh.
Right? I don't believe. Mm-hmm. So the couch is better for me. It's comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Than going and pulling for some lady who.
Yeah.
What do you say to What do you say to that guy? Because there's a lot of us.
Yeah, I understand.
Who just says, you need more people. I do
Yeah.
not believe.
Well, I mean, I would say
All
that
men are created what?
I would be very understanding. I would be empathetic to that, right? Because we have been betrayed here in this country, right? In fact, the Great Compromise of 1877 is known as the Great Betrayal, right? Reconstruction was a good time, and that was a prosperous time for us in this country. And it might have been the last time.
Bro, you
It was only
gave
12
me
years.
medicine. We found out it was syphilis, bro.
Real shit. I mean, I'm a Tuskegee alumni, all right? So, but that doesn't mean you give up. That doesn't mean you stop, because you got to also consider and take account of the gains that you make too.
But can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
So, what if people's approach, you're saying give up.
Yeah.
What if my approach to fighting appears like well, here's what I hear you say, bro. You're playing the game. You're bought in. You're all in. There's a framework that you've got going, and you are informed, and you're playing within that box.
Emotionally attached.
No, I'm more strategically attached.
But you're attached. But there's a framework.
Yeah.
There are some people who are looking at the framework and disagree with it
Like a motherfucker.
completely.
I mean, they have a right to.
But that doesn't mean they're giving up. So like there's a framework here that says you have to vote.
No, I don't say you have to
You're
vote.
a proven liar. You're a proven liar. How about that?
Who?
What do you mean?
America is a proven liar.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So
here's what I say to that, right? Like,
So you don't think people should you don't think every American should vote?
no, I think people should be informed and understand what the power of a vote is, right? I would never say everybody has to go vote. But I think when you understand the concept of what the vote is, right? You understand how empowering that fucking thing is, that act, right? And why it's been tried, why they've tried to take it from you so many times, why they've tried to suppress your black ass vote so many times, and still to this day, you can understand that a vote is the one thing that can disarm a freaking tank without any shells.
But I can
right?
weaponize that vote by staying on the couch too.
How?
Great question. Because if I got the orange side or the MAGA side who wants to suppress and only put 5 machines with 10,000 people and make them wait in line for 10 hours. But I got this other side who's a flat out fake liar.
How's that?
Do we have time to say?
Break it down. Because I'm not disagreeing with that. I mean, yeah, there's instances.
They do not have, the liberal side does not have the American people, especially minorities, at we're the squeaky wheel. We don't get the oil.
So how do you feel about the Republican side?
Okay, so I talked about them.
That was.
They've already identified themselves.
Yep.
We put a pin in them.
Yep.
So I'm talking about weaponizing.
Yep.
This other side needs me.
Yep.
And I can go, oh, word?
Okay. So
now you lose to these guys. Until you get your shit together, I'm not pulling this token.
but they can't get their shit together, Heath, until we're active participants.
So that's the point. So that's what I mean. So that's the framework. The framework is you have to play. This is the point that I'm making.
Or you get nothing.
You get
no continued gains.
You
get the same.
You get what you're supposed to get based on the options that you were given.
I don't believe that, because if you have the right to vote, then you don't. You just have to participate. If you don't, then shit.
So my point is, like I said before, bro, you got the framework and you bought in.
Yeah.
And there's like.
But that's where the change comes, bro.
So the change. So you say, right?
But it also depends on the person too, and so that's why we get into this identity politics thing, because I think so many people put so much trust and faith into the actors, right?
But that's where that's the part where I'm saying this is what makes the time different more now than ever.
Yeah.
There's no more of that, Keon.
Yeah.
I get that you do it. I get that there are a lot of people do it. The majority of the people don't have time.
Sometimes
they don't even have the desire, bro. The average person is making decisions from an emotional standpoint or based on some ideology or some
because we've been in an abusive relationship with a bunch of liars.
And that definitely contributes. So if I'm black, I'm gonna vote based on black. If at the bare minimum, you have this. I feel like you think that if you go out and give people all of the information, that they're gonna take that and choose the best thing. That's gone, bro.
Nah, you're gonna see a blowout.
But
what
hold
you
on.
Just said
the best. So right now you're Kamala. Oh man, you're still thinking about Kamala and Trump, bro. I'm talking about the future of this country.
Okay.
We're going to constantly be choosing the lesser of two evils. That's how it's set up.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The participation changes that. And I have faith in Gen Z, man. Like, that's different. Like, that's how most Gen Xers think, man.
So Kamala's a good
And
presidential
millennials
candidate?
feel that way, too.
Are you saying Kamala's a good presidential candidate?
I do.
Did you think that in 19?
I didn't think that in 19.
You did not?
I'll tell you why. I've changed my positions on this. And it wasn't just yesterday. This was 2 years ago where I started easing my criticisms of her style. And these are just mainly style points, right? When she was a candidate in 2019, I thought I was looking at somebody that did too much pandering.
Yeah.
I was looking at somebody that...
She's not now?
She's not now.
Stop it, bro.
She's not now.
Didn't she just say that she
She's not now.
So
and I'm gonna explain why. Okay. So because you know me, I'm a junkie for this shit, man. So like in 2019, she operated in a lot of platitudes too, right? When it came to talking about policy, I was like, dude, what the fuck is that? Like, you got to dig deeper than that for me. I don't want to hear some shit on the surface. Of course, how you gonna achieve it? So, and she was not a good choice for VP in my opinion in 2019. I wanted Susan Rice or somebody that was more well-versed in foreign policy and looked to be more presidential, right? So when you pick VP candidates, you always have to think, if something happened to the one, can the number two come in and ascend and be presidential and look presidential? She didn't have that. This is a different person now, because 2 years ago, what she did was she got on the freaking road with no goddamn cameras, right? No cameras, no press corps. Met with a number of the major unions in this country. She met with all the D9 groups, 100 Black Men, National Council of Negro Women, right? I'll go down the line here, right? Vote veterans, right? She's meeting these groups with no cameras, building fundamental relationships, taking questions on policy, addressing every fucking question on how it's going to get passed, what was passed, enlightening people on how it's going to benefit their current day lives and how they got more to go, right? And so when she got advanced to the top of the ticket, these groups immediately came out the next day, said, dude, we're supporting her.
And that's coincidental to you?
Huh?
That's coincidental?
It's only because I've been watching her the last 2 years.
Okay. No, but you don't.
I've seen the growth.
So she went from not even being eligible to be VP now to being able to be the president.
No, she was eligible to be VP. I didn't think she was a good candidate.
Okay, so what I'm saying, for 2 years ago when she started going to these people, you don't. Well, okay, so
she got some growth experience on relating to people better on the road, right? Mm-hmm. And being able to convey policy better in a very layman's terms way, right? So when you look at her most recent speeches in Milwaukee and Texas, this is somebody that's different, man. You're seeing someone with a level of confidence and a level of swagger because she has the ability, she has the intellectual fortitude to be a president.
I'm wondering,
but she's got the delivery now, man. That's the difference.
I'm wondering about Putin, King Abdullah in Saudi with the oil.
Yep.
Macron in France, how she's going to be in G20 summits. Is she going to be able to handle business in Africa? And then we already know that the border is still a problem. That was her job.
Well, the Republicans torched it.
Yeah.
We had a deal in place, and then Trump told them to go ahead and just pull out of that deal. Right, and that bill was actually created by a deep red Republican from Oklahoma, right? So they're using that as a talking point. We had a deal in place. It was a very conservative border deal too.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes. I have great optimism in that with this candidate, as opposed to what you get if you don't have her.
So let me ask you a question about her. What do you feel about her comments about reparations?
What did she say? I didn't hear any comments about reparations.
About how she's not going to do anything just for black people.
What did she say exactly, though?
I can't remember the
verbatim. I have it in my head. She goes, I'm not going to do anything just for black people.
When was that said?
2019.
Okay. What is she saying today on that?
She hasn't been asked. She doesn't do black media.
Okay. She does.
Where?
Shit, she does Roland Martin. She was on Roland Martin. That's black media. I'm just saying, I got something for you, man. I'm just saying, so where you were yesterday is not where you are today, right? And sometimes certain things that were trigger points, right, that could give her a disadvantage of what she really wants done. Sometimes you can't say that out loud, right? Barack Obama can't say that.
Roland has a YouTube channel,
but that's black media.
Yeah, that's true. But as I'm listening to you, the thing that resonates, I'm not nearly as emotional attached to any of it. Mm-hmm. As I feel you are and some other people are. You have facts that support your position that justifies the emotional attachment to some of it. And I understand that. But I'm looking at you, and then I'm also looking, so even when you just said what somebody did yesterday and who they do today and all of that.
Yeah.
And I hear, but I copy and paste what you say for blue, and then I copy and paste what somebody else says for red. Mm-hmm. And the challenge that I feel we have, and we are as divisive as we have ever been. Yeah. And I get we want to vote like that's going to fix it. But actually, that reality is going to expose and be exposed more in politics.
Well, the thing that you're really up against is the browning of America, right? That's what's pivoted against us, is the browning of America. That's what they're afraid of. This
white genetic annihilation.
Between blacker and browner at a high rate. And this is honestly the key fundamental focal point of the right.
Yeah.
This is what they're up against, right? Because this could annihilate the system of white privilege. This is what MAGA is all about at the end of the day. And this is why it's so pivotal and so important for us to be involved. Not just because it's this election. I'm talking about every motherfucking election after this one.
So let's not.
I'm tired of motherfuckers getting content.
So let's not talk about the people who fucking they sisters, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the intelligent white people.
Okay, let's wrap.
They know what you just said.
Uh-huh.
They doing the math.
No, they don't. A lot of them don't.
Hold on.
A lot of them don't.
White people own the think tanks, bro.
No, I'm just saying. We're talking about everyday white.
No.
folks, right? They're educated, right?
I'm talking about the people who run this shit.
Oh, okay,
I'm
gotcha.
not.
Knowing that their numbers are dwindling.
Yeah, they know their numbers are dwindling.
Yeah.
They can project out.
I could send you something. They do.
Hold on.
Yeah.
They know 100%.
they know.
So
Yeah.
minus the dude fucking his cousin, everything that you're saying, there's a force behind the force.
But how many of them are supremacists?
That's not the point. The point is, let's play chess, bro.
Yeah, we need to be playing chess.
And chess is, let's assume that the white people who run shit know that white is going to pretty much be non-existent here fairly soon.
Yeah.
And let's assume they know that. Let's assume that they've got the processes and methodologies and shit in play to transition their power to some other form at some point in time. Let's assume that. Because if I'm a world dominator and I can and I'm really in fucking control and I got all the bags, of course I should know in 20 years what the number of white people gonna be.
Yeah, I run the military.
I run the military. I run all of that shit. So we're talking about checkers with some of this shit when we're saying what white people are doing, they know this and that and the third. 20 years from now, what will that be? And the idea that we're trying to save, because again, there are things that are happening that are causing us to respond to triggers that are being hit on us to maneuver us and to move us around to do. We're being manipulated. It doesn't matter if you vote for Democrat or Republican.
Yeah, I hear that. But what I'm saying is our failure to play chess when we had a full chessboard to play with for 60 years is the reason why you got to play checkers in order to have a method of a defensive.
So if you're playing, so a part of playing chess is to make moves to proceed to appear as if you're losing. Or if you're taking
but you're starting on the board with only pawns.
So the rules are still there. It's like in the Matrix. Everybody's using the same thing. It's what we feel we have access to and what we feel our tolerance is for certain discomfort and certain losses. We feel like we not willing to lose and take certain losses without recognizing that the place we want to go is going to require significant loss, especially by black people. And we want the gains without the losses. And so there are some things that we're going to have to do.
What are some of the losses?
Numbers,
Yeah.
financial security.
Yeah, casualties of war. It's going to have to fall before it gets better.
It's going to have to, bro.
I disagree with
Is it because
But you guys are kind of like.
but hold on,
more,
that's never. But
you guys are more cynical than I am.
But hold on, that's never not been the case.
Yeah.
Give me an example of a game. Give me an example of a real game, by the way, that has been that we've gotten that did not require loss.
They did not require loss. Like what do you mean with
I'll
regard
give
to
you
a
one.
game?
I'll give you one.
What?
Montgomery bus boycott. They walked, they fainted, they were frustrated, they argued, and they stayed the course. And they proverbial stay on the couch. We are not going to pay for busing. And then they end up saying, we're going bankrupt. We need these people to ride this bus. And the laws were, of course, that jump started a lot, right? And I could be wrong. I keep telling people, please just hear me out. I could be wrong. 42 million black people, right? 50 million Latinos. I don't know how many immigrants are allowed to vote.
Yeah.
Well, Asians, no, I don't even consider them.
Yeah.
If an influx of people said, you know what? We need a paradigm solution. It's going to hurt before it gets better. Bell curve. It's going to get terrible. Hopefully it can get better.
Yeah.
Stay on the couch for 2 elections.
You're not going to have the chance to vote again, dude.
See, that's what I'm saying. They never hear me out. They never hear me out. Have this shit crumble. Right? all the do-gooder white friends that we have, all these people, all the Kamala Harrises, all the Bakari Sellers, all these Democratic Shield people will finally say, maybe we need to get some books in the hood. Maybe we need to, maybe we
They're
can
banned, but they'll be
reparations.
banned. They'll be banned via Project 2025.
Right, but that's where we are now. I get what you're saying,
Okay.
right? There's always going to be a but it's too late. What I'm saying is we have been playing Democrat.
I understand this.
We've been pulling.
but you have to.
Blindly pulling
Why do you have to?
for so long.
You have to play that game.
What-
Blindly pulling. Okay?
Here's the reason why, right? All right.
Hold on. My premise to that,
I believe in participation on both sides, so go ahead.
but my premise to that is with the book White Fragility and all of our white friends saying, don't you think you're looking into racism a little too? Like, all of our white friends were deniers, right?
Yeah.
For the longest time, before Barack. Now they're all like white, the word white privilege is real.
Yeah.
They get it now, right? And we're sitting back like, bitch, it's too late. I told you that shit back in the day, that this was real, before Trayvon, right? I want that side, that left side,
The latte liberals.
to be, the yogas and the
latte liberals. Yeah, they get on my nerves,
The
yes.
asparagus. I want them to be so mad at the orange guy, the MAGA guy, the fuck the sister guy,
Yeah.
that they have their internal civil war. We're already getting harmed. We're already over here getting harmed. Sonya just got a bullet in her head the other day on her knees with a hot pot of water. We're getting harmed already.
But you know what, Heath? But my point is, so just a minute. We're not willing to pay the cost associated with that. We would rather have the peripheral collateral damage from the fucked up. And this is a part of what I'm saying. We gotta own the shit that we condone that this government does in other countries, because it's hard. We have benefits that other people in other countries are paying for with their lives and with their humanity. That's true, right? And so we can't sit back and say it's not just us, because that's black people, that's white people, that's every American, right? So the black people who are getting harmed, the disparity in the community, all of this rap music and all of this old negative imagery and all of this old bullshit and devaluing of women and black life and all of that old kind of shit. For the black middle class to bow out
is there such thing?
would require them to experience a level of discomfort that they don't feel they need to fucking give up. Because a part of it is them buying the game that they have to play.
And guess who does that? The white liberal middle to upper middle class that says, I like BLM, but I'm not gonna give up these privileges.
Yeah.
I like this, but I'm not gonna ride for you.
But see, that's but see, you got to think about
I'm
it.
gonna just gentrify.
Because we don't ride for ourselves.
I'll gentrify the hell out of your neighborhood.
We
know
all,
what I
but we
mean?
we all originate from cities where we're not a dominant force as a race of people, right? You're from Kansas City. I originate from Philadelphia. You're from Pittsburgh, right? We're talking about the end points of the black migration point, right?
Yeah.
So what was his name? Charles Blow, had an opinion piece and a documentary that you probably seen, where he basically is saying that a very strategic move for us to counter a lot of the latte
Is to
liberalism
move.
is to move to the south where our populations are much thicker, and now you have an organized voting bloc, right? And they have to vie for, I don't care if it's a Republican or Democrat, they have to really vie for that block of voters and those electoral votes.
So we
and those
gotta
Senate
move
votes.
just for them to consider us?
Because you're relying too much on these latte liberals to be in their good senses.
Why don't we stay out of white people's business?
You are doing. That's how you are doing it.
No, stay here.
But you're making it your business now.
What I'm saying is, if I stay here on the couch and I let the latte liberal deal with the MAGA
Fine.
crowd,
Then what we do is we just strip you of
but-
every one of your civil liberties.
But
your
hold
rights to vote.
on, bro. Let's say what you just said.
Okay.
Let's say everybody move to do that. That's
You only need about 10% of people to make the move.
Let's say that's true. Go to your job and ask 10% of the people, how many of y'all would be willing to give up 10% of your income to end homelessness, period?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you a large percent of them would say, fuck those people.
Yes.
So that's how fucked up it is, bro. Because so even though those 10% can move, they're not willing to give up anything because of what we feel we should have. We don't want the discomfort.
My question to that is, you're thinking in the grander numbers than I am. So my question to that is, what percentage would be willing to give up a percentage to help fight homelessness? What percentage? Like, and it's not going to be a big number, right?
How many? No, it's not. How many do you think now?
Out of 100. So out of 100 people, 100% of the people in corporate America today.
20, 25.
That's all I need.
Hold on, 25%?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Would be willing to do what?
To give up a 10% of their income to help combat homelessness.
No, not 20.
You don't
No,
think 20,
no, fuck no.
I think it's going to be lower than that. I think it'll
Dude, it would be
10.
Dude, it's less than 10. I know, obviously, I don't know.
Let's say it's 8%.
We are in a meritocracy for the most part. At least what we want to tell ourselves.
Hear me out here, right? So let's just say 10%, right? So I get 10% of black folks in the middle class, right? In these cities in the northern states, Detroit, Chicago, Philly, New York, to say, listen, okay, would you consider coming back to the South, right? Like, so you can come back to where your roots may be. Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. Like, look at Mississippi, for example. We're talking like the state is 40% black, man. 40%.
You got too much faith in people, bro. And I feel like you got too much faith in the process, because I don't feel like my wife sits up, she works for homeless. She's responsible for the policies and shit here in the DC area. Motherfuckers are petitioning to not have homeless shelters in certain neighborhoods because they want their shit moved. See, there's a desire here to want to pass the buck, because the individual, the person, the singular person does not want to be inconvenienced or discomforted so that somebody else can experience any level of comfort. Not for a sustained period of time. A lot of what my father say this shit a lot of time. My father say this shit, bro. One of the things I remember, he said, most people want an action, but what they need is a process. What you're talking about is people putting themselves in position to sacrifice to a process. A lot of motherfuckers will give $10 to an event.
Yeah.
But a lot of motherfuckers ain't gonna say, hey, I guarantee you, I want you to take $10 out for the next 20 years.
Yeah, but when I'm talking about action now, you guys are like, no, that ain't gonna work. But
No, I'm saying you're talking about an action.
Yeah.
We need a process.
we have it.
What is that?
I just explained it. But the thing is like, you got to get involved with it.
What, the government? I mean, to vote?
Yes, you got to get involved.
They're
not though. You'd be surprised, bro. They're not. Because
you keep going back. See, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Forget the educated part, right? Just fundamental knowledge of this, right? Like, all right, you have a certain party, you have a certain person there in that party. Let's say the Democrats, right? Let's say they're doing an effed up job. They ain't doing shit. And let's just talk about like mayors, for example, like in Baltimore, very black city. You got a lot of bullshit mayors, right? They just wanted to be the king and queens of the fucking city. They did not deliver. But people just ride with it. Like, yeah, this mayor ain't shit, man. And dude, there's a primarying process, right? Sure, they may belong to the Democratic Party. That's part of the misinformation spin Republicans do. Is like they say, oh, look at Baltimore. It's a city overran by Democratic policies. No, there was just some bad people that got chosen to be in those positions. Now, that's why there's a primary process. Yeah, they may be a Democrat, but the policies still are in favor of you. You just had a bad authoritarian at the top. You can push those folks out for better people that are more responsible and more attuned to what you need, right? But if you're not going to be a player in this, then this is what you're going to get every time. Every time. So I'm not saying like you need the ultimate masses of everybody to be out there in the streets, but you can get a lot more advanced that way than you can protesting and throwing rocks through a window. That's a fact.
You're asking people who have and this is why we will always be at a disadvantage as a people. this is why we've been how do I say it? This is why I feel we've been the system has been able to retain the power that it has and increase its power because they're playing chess with people who have the mental and social aptitude to only play checkers. And your life is structured in a way to where you can't think past 2 weeks.
But maybe if I can, how about if I'm teaching my people how to play chess?
So when you teach your people how to play chess because it's a numbers thing, to your point.
We only got 13%.
Well, and you're teaching your people to play chess, but the system, the global system, has a dominance on the flow and the process that won't allow yours to make any real impact. Because again, what's the number one rule? Like, motherfuckers are going to survive.
Right.
The average person in this country is surviving, meaning they can't think past today, 2 weeks max.
Living just enough for the city.
So average person living paycheck to paycheck. So we can't think strategically to do anything that was required to really affect change.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. Are both of you comfortable with a second term of Trump, considering the Supreme Court where it is today?
I don't feel like and again, I am surrendering to the idea that whatever is going to be, and that this country is doomed. And
That's a fatalistic approach.
I'm not attached to the country,
It's
though.
a pessimistic approach.
So let me ask you.
You ain't attached. You don't have to be attached to the country.
No,
but you gotta live in it.
I don't. But there's enough forces at play that will be in that has something structured to come up after. So we've done a number of things to people, bro. We've got to pay for that. I get that we want to keep our comforts, but this shit is not sustainable.
So you're not going to be an active player in this, is what you're saying.
No. I'm playing a
He's saying
different
the
game.
chickens are coming home to roost.
So I'm playing a different game.
Yeah, I mean.
So because again, like when he was saying, there's a framework. We've been told a lie, and like I said, bro, it's a lot easier to convince a motherfucker of a lie than it is to convince them that they've been lied to. And I understand why. I feel a certain way about how we treat people globally, dog. I just do. Yeah. And like that bothers me. It bothers me how we got our hands in all kind of shit. It bothers me how we treat certain people here. Yeah. It bothers me how I fucking benefit from a lot of this shit too.
But what about maybe putting people in power to feel the same way that you do?
I feel like the whole system has to crumble.
So let me ask you.
Because dude, what China is doing and how they got their shit set up and how much money we owe in debt and all of these bots and AI and how divisive this country is, we are rotting from within.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's pessimistic as much as it is just accepting the situation for what it is. And the only thing I see people trying to do is vote for somebody in and out. I don't even see motherfuckers change their own life to be better to the people around them, to forgive motherfuckers a little bit more, to help somebody a little bit more across the street. I don't see motherfuckers change. I see people doing, all I'm hearing is that. I'm seeing more divisiveness. I'm seeing more hatred. I'm seeing just because somebody does vote for Trump, does that mean they are a piece of shit? No, it just means they have a different view than you. And the way we even address the opposite of people, we can't even see how that is what's contributing to the demise.
You know what else you've seen more of? Mass shootings.
Bro.
Jesus. I mean, it's just like, it's nothing now. I want to ask you a question. I have a fear of not voting and allowing it to tank. I'm partially where he is, it needs to, but I know who's going to get harmed first, you know? White man has a cold, black man has pneumonia. Yep. You know, bullet goes through Trump's head, who's going to get targeted?
Why don't you think that we would come together and fight the system? Why do you don't?
We're not together. We've never been aligned.
No. I mean, so these militia groups. So I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. So let's say, for instance, hypothetically speaking,
we're not tooling up. We're not a Sada.
You can't get black
Sada
folks to put
Shakur.
their money
but hold on. Well, I want to walk through. I want to walk through your fear or your idea about what could happen. So the government's going to revert back. Going to take like the Navy or the Army as an example, and they're going to go out and start. And the first people who are going to get armed are going to be black people.
Soft targets, yeah.
Against the Army?
No, it'll be militia groups. It'll be domestic terrorism.
So the terrorism. So it would be the militia groups that are harming black people.
He's saying if, like, let's say,
What happened in Buffalo?
Yeah,
the grocery store.
He's saying like the assassination attempt on Trump, and if that bullet would have hit him, he's saying we would be soft targets.
Yeah.
By these said militia groups.
Dylan Roof, he had a soft target in the 9 people in the church, the Buffalo people in the convenience store. I have an anxiety about, even though I have a disdain for America's lie, you know, I heard a quote years ago that Dr. Joy DeGruy said, America's pathology is its denial, you know. When I hear Keon speak and I learn from him and I really want to submerge myself into what he's saying because I know what he's saying is accurate, I can't believe also that he believes in this system because I lost my belief so long ago. So long ago.
I understand that.
They are, I hate to sound like unpatriotic or you know, I don't want to really go there, but man, fuck this place, man.
But let me say this.
Straight up.
Let me say this, man, right? Like, I understand both of you guys' viewpoints on this, and I'm not against them, right? I'm just saying, let's just give this a chance where we inspire our own to understand the importance of that vote, the power of the vote, and how it can reshape, how it can collectively shape what we want, right? Through policy, through a constant accordance of holding people accountable in those positions, right? Without taking a day off on it either, without taking a year off.
Yeah, but
Keon,
just hear me out. Let's just try it. Let's just fucking try it. We have not done this.
No,
we have not done it.
Yeah, we have.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we have.
No, we haven't.
Because
2008?
No, that's the only time, and then we didn't show up. After.
But hold on, Keon. Let's be honest, bro. Let's be honest.
Let's go.
Will my vote address Sexy Red?
Well, address her how?
She's a problem.
How? How much of a problem is Sexy Red?
Will my vote address drill music? And how the subjugation and devaluing of black women and women?
You must not have seen what I saw the other day.
So would my vote address how we treat one another?
It absolutely could.
Or
I believe it could.
James, Suki Hana.
But I'm talking about playing the long game, bro.
No, but that's
listen to this. Suki Hana.
Hold on for a second. Hold that thought about Sukihana. I want to see it too. But hold on, because he's talking about it. Most people want an action, but what they need is a process. I'm trying to get people, bro, as corny as this sounds, to listen and love, and to stop being so motherfucking judgmental, and to connect with other people's perspectives. Now, obviously we're here and we're having a conversation and we're sharing ideas and all of that in the third, right? But my biggest thing that I see is how manipulated we are as a people and how our triggers, bro, cause us to do some of the dumbest shit.
Yep, self-destruct.
And so if I'm seeing that, I know that I've got to adjust how I respond.
But the bailout is another self-destructive trigger. Is to bail out on this process.
How about
man.
pause?
Huh?
How about just pause? Keep the vote in your pocket.
You can't do it right now.
But because again, you keep, bro, the
You
vote.
can't do it right now. Democracy's at stake.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh, yes, it is.
Who do you think runs this country? The president?
No.
So you think whoever really runs
people
this
run it.
country? So do you? The people, meaning like me and you and him?
No, but listen.
See, that's what scares me because
The power of the vote, right? So
and the Supreme Court.
the
gave
Supreme
him
Court
immunity,
just passed those new rulings.
They gave him immunity, bro.
So you have presidential immunity on the line if
Yeah,
he gets in
yeah.
there.
Man.
This is unheard of, James.
I am a conspiracy theorist, and I don't believe that who's really running the shit is who they say is
but
really
that's just
running.
how you feel.
Yeah.
But that's not what you know. That's what you feel.
But James,
what-
what if, and we know it already is, so I shouldn't even say what if, but white genetic annihilation, right? We got a low birth rate. White babies are being born. White people are dying faster than white babies are being born.
that's
And
what Roe v.
been-
Wade is all about.
Right, that's been a trend for the last 30 years or something like that. So it's really, really getting bad.
And white women have more abortions.
Yes, and where I live, and I've been to Morocco, Sri Lanka, whatever, white men are just going over to dating Asian women, right? White women and white men are not procreating anymore.
That's right.
It's really, really, really bad. What if those people, Bilderbergers, the Illuminati, whoever they are, who you say is running the world, what if they're behind this shit?
No. So
What if they're saying, Trump, go in and be Hitler and Stalin and go do the shit?
it's they could be. So I'm trying to offer alternate.
Because SpaceX is about this. You know that, right?
About what? You say this, what's this?
Preserving white life.
You put more, what's the word? You put more weight on the race thing than I do. When I look at this fucking country, when I look at the construction of the Washington, D.C., it proves to me that they know how dope black people are. And all they do is use race as a fucking distraction and tool to divide people. It is a weapon. The people who know. And the fact that this motherfucking city is built and designed the way that it is proof positive to me that all those white motherfuckers who ran shit and who owned slaves and did all of that, they knew who we are. They know who we are.
Do we?
So the fact that they gonna build SpaceX to preserve white life, this ain't about, they know we are the originals. They know that we got power. They know that we got wisdom and intellect and all of that old kind of shit. Even if they go out here and say this about white people and nigger. I don't, these are, bro, black ain't even real, my nigga. And the people, and I feel that the people who run this shit know that. And they use that to play games with the fucking little peon roaches out there, the niggas and niglets and the white niggas and all of that. Let them niggas fight over color. Let them fight over something as fucking dumb as the paint job on a car.
Deflection, distraction.
Yeah, like so we can really tend to what's really the fuck going on.
So what I say is this. I totally concur, feel you on this, man. But why not have that same position where it's a fair fight altogether, right? Where you can be rebellious legally, where you can have voting rights in your favor, where you can have systemic racism combated from a legislative standpoint, right? Put you in a more optimal position, right, to have that fight.
Because, bro, my fight. This is where you and I probably fundamentally at the core shift or veer, which is My power is my love, dog. My power is my ability to adapt and adjust for the greater good of the motherfucker sitting right across from me. That's what makes my fight fair. I can't kill enough people that they can. I don't want to be able to kill enough the same amount of people as they do. But the way I fight their system is by countering the weapons that they use against us. My vote is not, they don't give you the tool to your freedom. They give you the shit to keep you distracted and fucked up and disconnected from what your real power is.
With a Tennessee sign.
So for me, my power doesn't lie in my ability to vote. My power lies in my ability to connect with the motherfuckers around me and love and support people and listen, and to not be as divisive and propagate a lot of the bullshit narratives that are out there.
So
Why not be able to live love like that and have those societal protections that you would want?
Because my protection.
You can't love in a chaotic situation.
Yeah,
the
you
same
can.
way. You can.
You can't because we're resilient.
You can. I'm not saying you can't. We've gotten through the worst times. Okay, but fuck that, man. It's just like, you're asking for chaos.
No, I'm asking.
But you're saying you're comfortable with chaos.
No, that's what we're in.
Turmoil.
That's what we're in now.
I was gonna say,
bro. That's what. But do you know? Let me ask you this. You know, World War III has already started, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Okay. And what is that war?
What are you talking about? You're talking about the cyber war.
Yes.
The war of information.
That's already started.
Yeah.
So mind you, we are already in chaos. The fact that we think we have a chance is the sign that we've lost already. So the real question is, how do we make the adjustments that we need to make to prepare, bro?
All I'm saying is this, guys.
You say you didn't answer it, and you just moved to a whole nother joint, right?
No, answer the question.
Because I did. So the cyber war that we are undergoing now, you're talking about using something that the cyber war actually attacks. And you know what that is?
What's that?
Information.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons why we are the most divided as we have ever been. How are we as a people going to come together when that is the antithesis of what the shit is set up to do?
Right.
Well, there's also a counter information attack too, right? And I think you can counter that with the right leaders, right? It's difficult. It's difficult, right? Because populism is a real thing, right? And but that's part of the cyber war too, is playing defense.
So I don't like going to the Cheesecake Factory, bro.
Okay.
Because there's too many fucking options on the menu. I don't like going to outlets because there's too many fucking things. I don't like a lot of choices. A lot of times when the information gets overloaded to a point like that, I then get in analysis of paralysis, and then I fucking shut down.
And you don't know what's real.
So that's the average person. And now that we're being inundated with data,
I think a lot of what you're saying is rooted in who the messenger is too, and I think we need better messengers.
I have a question, because I'm always looking at people, right? I want to look at Keon. I want to look at you. I want to see what you think, because I want an informed opinion, and I want someone to teach me what direction I should go in. I want to think, and then I want to get the information. I want to rely on your expertise or something like that. When you see that dude with the Tennessee sign, and you see Kamala or you see Trump, and they go, "We gotta make America great," and everybody goes, "Ah." Do you see followers? Sheep?
Yeah.
I see sheep, man.
I see sheep.
I can't subscribe to North Dakota guy on the right or the left. I can't, and we need to, and everybody go, yeah, and I'm thinking,
that's
the
populism, man. It exists on both sides of the aisle.
What I'm saying is, either side of the aisle, I'm looking, and here's what I do when I watch Dave Chappelle. To his jokes, I'm so damn cerebral locked in, I can't laugh. I'm like, damn, that was clever. How he
not as funny as he used to be.
But what I'm saying is how he set that up, what his punchline was, what he's saying.
He's a great storyteller.
What his delivery. Right, his delivery. So anybody, whether it be a podcast, I watch Tune the Fork, And I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I'm learning. If I'm listening to one of these leaders, so-called leaders, you need more people, man.
Right, but
I can't.
Grant,